Hey, welcome to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, Californian Motorsports rider, among other things. Here flying solo today, Louis Amistoy, who's sometimes here. He is not here. He's off being a bigwig somewhere in meetings. Yep, there's the empty chair. Louis would probably rather be here. I'm not even sure which city he's in right now, some business meetings or something. He'll be back tomorrow, which doesn't do us any good for today. Steve Hughes was going to be in to help me out. He's stuck in a board meeting somewhere, so you're stuck with me, the flag, America, and a great show. And so we've got the season 3. Cameras being adjusted here. And got the we've been covering racing forever, I think. So there we go. Had some, we got the Fast Trip All-Area Motorsports team that you've got to remember to be a part of the team. 2 wins on a drag strip, 3 wins on an oval, and I think last count we have 15 drivers already qualified for that. Last year, our first time we ever did this, I think we had 55 drivers ranging from the mini dwarfs on up to any level of racing. We had motorcycle riders, the oval racers, drag racers. So doing that again, it was well received. And as I say, 15 drivers now and a whole host of others with a couple of wins looking to get in there. So we had on the national scene, little weekend, a rainy weekend, but NASCAR was in Pocono. They raced there twice in a 6-week period. This was the first of those 2 races, and they were supposed to race on Sunday, and it rained Sunday, and it rained some more Sunday, and it rained a little more on Sunday. Finally got around to getting the race in on Monday under beautiful clear skies with a few clouds, perfect weather for the Poconos. And Kurt Busch raced to his first win of the season with an interim crew chief. His crew chief had been suspended for 1 race, and so they had another member of the team, an engineer, sitting on top of the box, and they used fuel mileage to win this race. He was told he was a couple laps short for the final as the cars were about to start the last 33, it turned out to be 33 laps of green flag racing. At the end, he was told he needed to save fuel. He was 2 laps short, and that's pretty hard to do on the big tri-oval there, but he did. He saved enough fuel, managed to do a pretty good burnout, got the win, which secures a spot in the chase, which is always important this time of the year. Kevin Harvick, he placed 9th in the race. He's passed a lot of the cars on the day. Probably, if you did a count, passed more cars than anybody else. He had an early speeding penalty, and there are a pair of cautions fell at the wrong time for him right before he was planning to make a green flag pit stop. So he would go in under the caution, then be at the tail end of the lead lap. Came back, finished 9th, so not a bad run for him, realistically. Casey Mears, 24th, often where he is. Not a great day, not a horrible day. Stayed out of any of the little bit of trouble there was during the race. Interesting, Chase Elliott and Earnhardt were fighting for the top spot when the race went green for the last green flag run. Busch got around him. That proved to be the winning move because it's pretty tough to pass there once they get spread out, led the rest of the way, so good win for him. Harvick and Busch, 1-2 in points, so pretty good for the Stewart-Haas teammates there, and both of them in the chase now, and that's really of utmost importance, although that wouldn't be the chase standings at this point if it was time for the chase, because the more wins you have, the more points you get heading into the chase, and Kyle Busch has the most wins with 3, so he would be the chase points leader, I guess you could put into it. But anyway, 9 drivers now qualified with victories to make the chase at the end of the season. A little bit of other news for NASCAR too, and this one they knew was coming down because you had the 42 of Chip Ganassi Racing, obviously Kyle Larson. He didn't have all the lug nuts on his wheels at the end of the race, and that's a no-no, even though NASCAR for a while said, have at it, boys, you can't tighten all the lug nuts, and now they're not watching you, but they check after the race, and if there's any missing lug nuts, you're in a little bit of a trouble. So his crew chief, Chad Johnston's been fined $20,000, suspended for the next race this weekend at Michigan, and placed on probation, double secret probation as it is. And as I said, this upcoming race at Michigan International Speedway on Sunday. And on Saturday, the Xfinity Series hit the track. Ryan Reed, 33rd. I didn't see this race. I was doing other things on Saturday and caught up on it. There's a reason for his 33rd finish because, well, not finish. Apparently, Reed and Ryan Sieg has a little on-track incident. Reed made contact with Sieg. Sieg hit the wall, crashed, went to the pits. Reed crashed on lap 40, was back in the garage to work on his car. Red flag came out because it started raining. And by coincidence, the two team haulers were pitted next to each other, and that prompted a little garage altercation. We have a little video on that.
Whenever to talk about what happened with Ryan Reed, but he obviously does nothing wrong, you know what I mean? I guess he's just brain dead or stupid. I don't know which one. Probably both, but we got wrecked, you know what I mean? And anytime you get around him, I always see him in the fence, or he always ends up in the fence.
It's not going to do us any good to go out there and get into a battle royale, but at the end of the day, it's going to take two parties here to agree, and I think that we need to sit down and have a mature conversation, and when that happens, then that happens.
I tried to talk to him, but there is no talking to him. He wouldn't get through, you know what I mean? And I figured he'd say, I apologize or whatever, but no, he didn't say that, and it escalated, and then he wouldn't shut his mouth, so I figured I'd shut it for him, but none of his pit guys would let me do it, so it's what it is.
Yeah, so a little interesting deal there. Probably not the type of publicity Ryan Reed would like. Probably more like winning at Daytona, which he pretty much started 2 seasons ago with. So they get back to racing, and boys will be boys. And it would have been nice to have some video from the garage incident, but we didn't get that. But we got the reactions. Also, we had in the straight line category, the NHRA was in New England at New England Dragway in Epping, New Hampshire. They were supposed to run on Sunday, but once again, it was a rainy day. Sunday, they ended up running on Monday. But the news out of this happened on Saturday when fast Jack Beckman was making a qualifying run, and his car went kaboom, and probably the biggest kaboom we've seen in a long time, and we have a video.
Away. Jack Beckman, one of those surprise guys that hasn't won. He's also the defending Traxxas winner. Oh, big explosion. Jack Beckman just destroyed a Mopar body.
Okay down there, Jack? I'm good.
Great news as you listen to the onboard communications between Jack and his team. He's good. He climbs out okay, but that sedan became a drop-top convertible very, very quickly.
Just some amazing footage there of the explosion. And it's interesting to see at one point from the camera on the top end as you facing Jack when he's coming down the strip there, he actually takes his right hand off the steering wheel and puts it up toward his face over the helmet, kind of like this, because there's shrapnel going everywhere. And part of that shrapnel was the blower there is just split in half, and it starts going in pieces, and it's just shrapnel everywhere, and he's looking to protect himself a bit there. Just a scary deal. Not only destroyed the body, hurt the chassis. The team had to go to a backup car. Jack was okay. What happened there was the camshaft broke, stuck the valves open, fuel goes in there, and it turned into a grenade. And they said on the NHRA telecast of the race on Monday that the team was looking at the idea of going to kind of a cockpit around the driver, which would be something new and funny car, much like the Shoemaker cars have in Top Fuel. So interesting thing there. Jack was able, they took a backup car out that never ran, and he made a couple rounds. He lost in the semifinals to Tommy Johnson Sr., who went to the finals, where Ron Capps, a friend of Famoso Raceway, and up here quite often for March meets, he edged Tommy Johnson with a 392 to a 394 by a few feet to win the funny car race. That was Capps' first win since the season opening race in Pomona. On the Top Fuel side, Anton Brown, another close race. He got 376. He defeated Steve Torrance's 377. So some great racing there. Top Fuel, 3 cars shy. They had 13 cars for the 16-car field on Monday, but some great racing. The Funny Cars, as usual, had some great racing. Pro Stock, another win for Greg Anderson. Anderson, the Summit Racing team, they have that thing just dialed in. The new EFI rules this year, nobody else is close to Anderson and the Summit Racing team there. The IndyCar Series, after a Sterling Indy 500 on a big oval, went to Bell Island in Detroit, where they had the one of the dual Saturday-Sunday races. They race a full qualifying and racing on Saturday and do the same thing again on Sunday. And Simon Border won on Saturday. Will Power, his first win in over a year on Sunday, so a good win for Will Power there. Interesting thing on the Indy card, they came out with the money won, as they often do at the awards banquet on Monday following the Indy 500. And so I kind of looked at it, and it's $1.5 million or $2 million for the winner, and it goes on down. Second place is half of that or something, and it drops off pretty rapidly. My first initial, I think it was around $13.5 million. My first initial thought was, wow, that's not a lot of money, especially when you look at golf and how much they make for hitting a ball around. These guys put their lives on the line. Place was a complete sellout, over 350,000 people there. So obviously the Speedway raked in lots of money. And by comparison, I think Daytona paid out $18 million for the NASCAR race. But anyway, go to the Facebook page, Bako Motorsports Power Hour. Take a look at that, because Robin Miller used to work for the Indy Star years ago, now does stuff for Racer Magazine and television, has a pretty good take on the purse and what some drivers got, and what they got was a pittance. If you take out a lot of the other stuff, some of these drivers probably ended up with about $40,000 for that race. So go ahead, take a look at that. And we're going to take a break here. Be back with the Bakersfield Speedway segment.
Kern County Raceway hosts a very special night Saturday, June 18th. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at the Races. Great racing and a fundraiser for the local group that helps local veterans. NASCAR late models, NASCAR Superstocks, Inex Bandoleros, the 911 Racing Series, and the future stars of racing, the Mini Dwarfs. Raffle prizes, giveaways, NASCAR racing, and an opportunity to raise money for local veterans. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at KCRP. Brought to you by Budweiser, Jimberg Ford, and Coca-Cola.
Hey, welcome back to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, longtime Bakersfield, Californian motorsports rider, flying solo today because Louis Amistoy, as usual, is gone. His chair is empty. Well, my chair's over there. I guess this is my chair now because Louis is gone, and he'll be gone next week. I'll be gone next week, so likely no show next week. So anyway, and also gone is Scott Schweitzer. He's not here today. He apparently had a little back injury Sunday, is not feeling all that well. So we'll go over the Bakersfield Speedway, what happened out there. What we've got coming up this week, though, we got IMCA Sport Mods, Western Pro Stocks, Hobby Stocks, Mod Lights, where Jerry Flippo is 14-year-old is dominating that series. Race Saver Winged Sprints, and the California Lightning Sprints. It's all Saturday out there at Bakersfield Speedway. It's Make-A-Wish night as well, a fundraiser for that. They've been doing that for several years out there at the Speedway, another one of their charity events. And as usual, and I expect the Speedway fans to come through as they always do for the charitable races out there. General admission, $12. Seniors military, 10. Kids 6 to 12, 5 and under are free. Gates open at 4. Racing is 6. Camping and parking are free. And they had a pretty good night of racing out there last Saturday, where the temperature did hit 107 in Bakersfield briefly. It was 106 for probably at least 4 straight hours. So it was a hot afternoon and early evening of racing all over Kern County, because they also raced at Kern County Raceway Park. But out at the Speedway had a pretty big show. Had the USAC Midgets coming here for the second time this season. I think they're going to come back one more time. So it was the second of 3 races out there at the Bakersfield Speedway. Ronnie Gardner had won all 3. Well, the midgets, the Western States Midgets, had 3 races previous to this, and Ronnie Gardner had won all 3 of those coming into this race, including an earlier race at Bakersfield Speedway. But the defending champion was beaten this year. Michael Facito got the win. He started on the pole, led all 30 laps. But pretty good race. Steve Lynch was out there covering for us and said it was a pretty competitive race. He held off Gardner to get the win. And a good thing, Corey Elliott out of Bakersfield finished 3rd or 4th in that race. So good win for Michael there. Ronnie Gardner was 2nd. Darren Hagan 3rd. Corey Elliott and Tyler Delicki 5th. And it goes on down with Cody Swanson and the rest of the top 10. Sean Dodenhoff 9th, another Bakersfield driver there. So not a bad field, 20 cars. They had 22 for the first one. So the midgets just a few years ago down to 10, 12, 13 cars, and now they're back up to around 20 cars. That's just a great field out there at the Speedway. They're a good fit for that track, and I'm glad to see the race. I'm glad to see 18, 22 cars again, and that they're going to run another race this year, because it's been really competitive for the midgets. But I guess the race of the night happened to be we got the American stocks here coming up there. And Tom Mocht, as usual, providing great photos. We can see him 3 wide coming out of a turn, 2 wide here. American stocks, pretty good class, usually around 12, 15 cars in that class. Had a lot of different winners this year, with Brody Schweitzer come out on top of this. He becomes the second 2-time winner in the class. He passed J.R. Garcia with 9 laps to go. Garcia had led the first 11 laps of the race. And so a good win for him. I think Dakota Brown, there it is, was second. So Dakota Brown also has 2 wins and a second. You got Brandon Ratcliffe was 3rd. Ellis was 4th, and Justin Toohey 5th. Brian Childress, 6th, defending champion. Trevor Baker, he's 7th. He's got a win this year. A.J. Garcia. Nicholas Johnson has not won in Bakersfield. He has a win in Santa Maria. I think he's 14 years old. So American Stock's always putting on a good show out there at Bakersfield Speedway, and it was nothing different this past Saturday. And then, of course, you have the IMCA Modifieds. These are just great cars. Lightweight, powerful, little open wheel up at the front, fast class, fun to watch, lots of different winners in that. Turn around, Ricky Childress was leading this race in the 16 car, and Cody Laney passed him with 2 laps to go to get the win. It's the second win of this year for Laney, joining Kyle Heckman as 2-time winners. I think there's 3 or 4 other winners in this. There's the Mr. Laney. He's happy. He also has a win at KCRP on the dirt, so he's got 3 wins this year and now is qualified. He's on the Fast Trip All-Area team because of that. Brad Pounds finished 3rd. He took about a month off when he and his wife Tina delivered twin boys few months ago. Ethan Dotson finished fourth. I think Ethan will soon be, that might be his last race for a while, because I think he's heading back to Iowa to spend the summer racing as he did last year. And he's the points leader right now, so he'll be giving up the points leader to go race in Iowa, where you can race 2-3 times a week and get a lot of experience. John Piker finished sixth. Roger Holder seventh. Scott Pounds eighth. And this is interesting. Scott Pounds back in the car. That's Brad's dad. Hasn't raced in a long time. Multi-time champion. Has had some back issues. Got the okay, apparently, from his doctor to drive again. He's got a car, so he's out there having a little fun. Brian Clark and Dave Phelps finished the top 10. And Ricky Childress was posting on Facebook that driver gave that one away. And Cody Laney kind of agreed with him, saying after the race, I think Ricky just missed his mark a little bit. And that's how Laney got away and got the win. So IMCA Modified's always putting on a good race. Yeah, the mini stocks also competing last Saturday night. As that's turned into be a really good class this year. Lonnie Spiller started the season with three straight wins. It looked like she was going to dominate the class. And since then, there's been 5 different winners in the mini stock division. The latest was Kylie. What is Kylie's last name? You get the winners up here. Help me up there. Kylie Conway. Her first win of the year. Just last week, it was Misty Warren's first win of the year. So another win for the women there. Just dominating this division with wins and running up front. Of course, Lonnie leading the way. Andy Boydston, he's got a win. He finished second in this race. He keeps knocking on the door for wins. Clinton Massey finished fifth. Lonnie Spiller sixth. She's had a little trouble since getting those 3 straight wins. She just hasn't really challenged for victory since then. Mike Conway finished 7th. Steve Rourke was 8th. Lance Gonzalez 9th. And Shannon Treaty was 10th. And Shannon's been up there a couple times running 2nd and 3rd. Had a 10th place finish, but there's another potential winner. It's just an interesting season in the mini stocks this year. And remember, we're coming back. We got another night of racing out there. Saturday night, it's the Make-A-Wish night out there at Bakersfield Speedway, raising some money for a good cause, help out some local kids that might need it. It's the IMCA Sport Mods, Pro Stocks, Hobby Stocks. Interesting, the Hobby Stocks, 6 different winners through 6 races, so plenty of action for the Hobby Stocks. We could be heading toward 8-10 winners this season of that, but odds are getting long that we're going to start seeing a repeat winner in the Hobby Stocks, just as we have in American Stocks and the IMCA Modifieds. Sport Mods also have a lot of different winners. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Clinton Reichenbach has 2 wins. He's the only 2-time winner, I think, in Sport Mods. So just a lot of competition out there at Bakersfield Speedway. So get out there, take a little extra cash with you, dole it out to some of the people that be going around collecting it for Make-A-Wish. I don't know if they're going to have some raffles, I'm sure. Maybe doing driver's helmets or whatever. But however you can, you go out there, plop down some money for the races, plop down some more money for the Make-A-Wish. It's always a good cause. So, Chris, I think we'll get out of here a little early right now. We've got the Famoso people waiting in the wings. We'll get to the Famoso Raceway segment. So remember, Bakersfield Speedway, Saturday night, be there. It won't be 108.
Kern County Raceway hosts a very special night Saturday, June 18th. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at the Races. Great racing and a fundraiser for the local group that helps local veterans. NASCAR Late Models, NASCAR Superstocks, Inex Bandoleros, the 911 Racing Series, and the future stars of racing, the Mini Dwarfs. Raffle prizes, giveaways, NASCAR racing, and an opportunity to raise money for local veterans. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at KCRP. Brought to you by Budweiser, Jimberg Ford, and Coca-Cola.
Hey, I can hear almost. Welcome back. This is Bako Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, a longtime Bakersfield, Californian motorsports rider. Louis Amistoy, long time, as Blake says, like going on 40 years. That's a long time, a lot of racing. They were doing
Oh,
it.
hey.
Oh, there, look. That's not Louis Amistoy.
No.
That's Steve Hughes.
Our
And I got
co-host.
some in my ear. What is that thing in my ear for?
I don't know, but Louis Amistoy's not here. But just kind of, Louis, what are you doing?
Is that a butchie?
Louis,
That's
can Mike
an
have a
actual
raise?
butchie.
A big raise? Lots of money? Oh, thanks, Louis. Right here we have a butchie, one of the coolest trophies of all time, given away to the ANRA, American Nostalgia Racing Association champions.
Right.
That's
At
right.
the end of each year, or the start of the new year.
Start of the new year,
New
yep.
season was when they do the awards. Butch Hedrick runs that series, and he's here with us along with Blake Bowser,
Yeah.
who runs Auto Club Famoso Raceway, and ANRA will be racing in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we have nothing going on this weekend.
This weekend we're all heading. Are you going, Butch? Are you going to Salt Lake City?
I'm
no?
going to sneak over, maybe.
We're all heading to Salt Lake.
Salt
The Heritage
Lake, I
Series
know.
is over there. Group 1 and Group 2 has a double race. They're going to qualify and race Friday, qualify and race on Saturday, and then the Nostalgia Funny Cars, the NHRA Nitro Funny Cars, will qualify Friday and Saturday and race Saturday night.
All right, which means
They will
there'll
all
be
drive home on Sunday.
be a lot of a Bakersfield and a Taft racer, Mr.
Yes,
Fry.
A Taft.
At least a Taft racer. I don't want us to just say Bakersfield. Leave
Yeah.
him out because I know that they'll be
Yeah.
headed out there. A lot of
Yeah, a lot of
Bakersfield
guys are heading
racers
over right now. Test and
headed
tune
over
tomorrow.
to
Yep, Salt Lake City.
Where last year I believe it hailed.
We had-
Boy, did it.
A lot of interesting weather, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Butch?
that
it
was
fun.
yeah, blew the roof off my motorhome and everything else. It was that bad.
I don't know which direction the track faces. We were in the tower and we saw this ominous storm coming overhead, and then it went by, and I thought, oh wow, it's going to miss us. And that thing did a U-turn and came right down the racetrack, and within 5 minutes, it was about that much water. Just it fooled me. I thought, oh cool, we're going to miss it, and then it
Yeah.
came down. So that was it.
yeah.
They
Yep.
called the night after
They
that.
called
So
it
we
right there.
finished their race at the reunion, and at our September race last year, we kind of finished all the categories and stuff. So it was
I
kind
of
fun.
liked it because I brought about 12 Wallies.
All the
home
champion
with, yeah,
trophies.
I brought all the Wallies home with me. I had to give them back, but that was
Yeah.
That was it. And while you're off this weekend,
Yeah.
interesting. All three racetracks were running last Saturday, which
Right.
is the hottest day in Bakersfield
Yeah.
in a long time. 107 degrees at
Yeah.
top the thermometer at the airport. I was watching on my phone. It was 106 degrees sometime before 3 o'clock, and it
Right.
stayed 106 until
Yeah.
after 7.
Till the sun dropped.
So it was like
Yeah.
4 hours of just torturous
It was
heat.
beautiful
I know
out
what
there at the track,
We
though.
were talking about what's the track temperature? Well, at Kern County Raceway
Yeah.
Park,
Yeah.
159 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I imagine the
Yeah.
track
Add
down
that
at,
to
159 degrees down.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
nobody's ever said we were the smartest guys.
No.
There's no doubt about that. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
but Blake was pretty smart because he opened the gates at 7.
We ran at 8
Started
p.m.
racing at 8. He had a street
Yeah.
tuners race.
We
and
did.
It was a home run, wasn't it?
We had a
not?
great night. We had about 195 cars and a lot of spectators. They all had a good time. And we ran until 2 a.m. And then I left the track at 3:30 and I hit Jack in a Box. Didn't do Denny's. I hit Jack in a Box on the way home, and I was in bed by 5. So it was a nice long night. And
on the street tuner thing, 195 cars.
Yeah.
Wide variety. See any Bentleys out there?
no, we didn't see any Bentleys, but no, and motorcycles too. So
Right.
and we're gonna have to we're starting to get some purpose-built drag cars showing up that are they're door cars, but we need to. So we're gonna have to have probably some papers required in the next one. You got to show registration papers. So
Please show
don't
me
need to
your
be,
papers.
yes, show us. Yeah. You
me
can
your
still trailer
papers,
them in. We
please.
got guys coming from. Sunday I was out there after the event, late Sunday, and I looked at all the tech cards. About 40% were from our area, Bakersfield, and another, 50% were from from north of the track through Fresno, which that incorporates Wasco, Delano, Tulare, Visalia, Fresno. So a huge following from that area up
You
there.
get a lot of people match racing and stuff. Or
Oh
were you
man, we
able to
had some
tell?
side bets going on, and a lot of guys not wanting to. They're doing no times, and we can do all that. We can do 8th mile, we can do no times, we can do anything you want, and if you want to pair up and put a little skin in the game, then that's on you guys.
So a lot of that going on, a lot of
there
eighth
was.
mile
It was
and
fun.
quarter mile.
You could always tell when two cars are coming out and the crowd runs out to see the race, you know something's going on. So they're back in the pits watching a little bit of the side bets going on. They run out there and see who wins it. So
and what
it's
type
fun.
of cars are you getting? A lot of imports or American muscle cars?
A nice mix of everything.
Or a mix of everything?
Everything. And the bottom line is they're on the strip and not on the street. And we actually, our announcer, Steve LaBarbera, went through and talked to quite a few people in the staging lanes, and he said he talked to probably 100 people, and they said if we weren't here tonight, we'd be on the street somewhere. So it was a pretty good deal.
So good deal. That was the idea, and especially going back to a nighttime format rather than the daytime.
Yeah, we'll do that again in July. We'll do it again in August, and back to a daytime in September.
What's that cost a guy to go out there and race a street car?
$40.
$40.
$40. Yeah, we like I said, 6 hours of racing. There's guys I know that got some guys that came late got a few runs, but there's guys that started at 8 o'clock, ran till 2. They got 15, 16 runs.
Unbelievable.
So that's
$40.
You know, I mean, it's what, $2 or $3 a run. That's not bad.
No,
not bad.
Great.
Oh, there's my phone.
That's not bad. There's your phone. Must be Ron Capps calling. Talk about his big win.
That's Mr. Ron Hodgson.
You were half right there, Griff.
Yeah, half right. So, did you see the Fast Jack blow up?
I did. Yeah, that was man.
Scary.
Yeah, I'm glad nothing happened to Jack. That could have been ugly.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff. There was
a lot
flying
of stuff
around.
flying.
A lot of stuff flew towards the stands too. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear
And
no
we
one.
got the video going again, and this blower was split, just split open. They showed in the telecast the following day of it, just like it had been split open by a can opener.
Right.
And the crew saying they've never seen that. The chassis was damaged, bent the rails on the chassis.
Well, I mean, you saw him get out of the racing line just a little bit, raise those RPMs up, and that thing just grenaded. Did you guys see on Facebook?
The camshaft broke.
Yeah. Did you guys see on Facebook where a piece of the engine hit a guy's motorhome and actually dented the motorhome?
Doesn't surprise me.
Put a hole in it. Well, Beckman went over and autographed, got a picture with him, and the guy got to keep the piece. You know, it was a pretty cool deal. So glad no one was hurt in that deal.
That helps when it comes to
It's
the,
a good thing
the
no one
litigation
was hurt.
side.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
From Jack to the spectators, because that thing was, as I said, it was a grenade. It was
It's kind of like when a golfer hits
shrapnel.
somebody. You know, they get a lump in their head. Here, you sign a golf glove. Here you go.
Thanks. A lot of shrapnel from that.
So yeah.
And then we won't have any of that type of explosion out there. Your first race coming up is the Summit Series. Let's talk briefly about that.
Yeah, that'll be not this, but next weekend. That'll be
the
race 4 and 5, I believe it is. Yes.
Right.
Doubleheader weekend for us.
Doubleheader week.
Yep.
You always do that race. Full race on Saturday, full race on Sunday, and that way you get them out. It's one weekend, 2 races.
Yeah, they can just make one tow over once and get 2 races and tow back. So a lot of guys come from all over the place. So
What time the gates open for that, Blake?
Oh my gosh, let's see. I think we are. So actually, we'll park Friday night out there from 5 to 9, and then we will do gates at 7 o'clock in the morning each day, Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
And down the track Saturday at 10, Sunday at 9.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
And the following
and then
week,
on to ANRA after that.
Yeah, the following week we've got ANRA where everybody's racing for one
of
of
those.
these. One of those. This is the second race. You're going to come up, and we just ran some slides actually from an ANRA race. Lots of those cars could also race in the Summit Series as well.
Most of them
and
could.
a lot of them do, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of them interchange. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got classes. Once again, the nostalgia. Give me what is the American Nostalgia Racing Association?
Well, it's going back to back in the 60 type cars and running anything from open wheel. We actually were running some of the juniors weren't back there then, but all through NE1, all the gas classes, and we pretty well cover the whole gauntlet.
So you got cars out there. Some of the cars might run, and you got junior dragsters.
Right.
So you'll go from the junior dragsters up there, and the open wheel cars are interesting. I saw some old style cars.
Right.
Really kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Not a lot of traction on some of those cars, but they don't go real fast.
Well, when you
either.
got a tire that's that wide, you don't have a whole lot of traction.
No, on up to NE1, which can run
760.
Their index is 760.
and you got your A gassers that are 760. So the quickest car is about 180 miles an
Yeah.
hour is what that equates to at the end of the quarter mile.
That's
not
right, quarter mile.
Quarter mile race.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're still old school. We go the whole road.
So your first race of the season, you opened up a couple months ago with your first race.
Right.
Home run for that race?
Yeah, we did real well. We had 350 cars.
Yeah.
And we served over 1,200 people Saturday night at the barbecue. and had a real good time. And we were out of there at a decent hour on Sunday, and we finished up Saturday early. And fortunately, knock on wood, didn't have any downtime. Everything went smooth. Track was in good condition, and Blake and his crew always keeps us safe.
Yep, I can attest that the barbecue was worth the wait in line. A pretty good barbecue Butchie puts on for that. It's a good deal and good racing. I mean, just as I said, a wide variety. You've got, with all the junior dragsters, it comes out to about, 16 different classes or something?
Yeah, 16 classes, right. So
16 classes and plenty of racing. About how many cars are you expecting for this race? Because your opener's generally your biggest. It's kind of like your Daytona.
Well, the biggest one is the first one, and the last one's pretty close. And we usually have 250 to 275 during the week, during the other two. And we'll lose a few this weekend or this coming race. Some of the juniors are going to go back to the Western Conference Finals in Tulsa. So we're sending one team back, which we normally send 3 teams. We're sending one back. So
now, how do you send a team back there? How do they qualify for that? Do they qualify through? Is it the ANRA program or the Summit Series?
Well, they actually we run all of the juniors at our races. So and they we qualify a team to go back and like I said,
we can send as many teams of 10 as we want.
Yeah.
But this year, because they want to come to Butch's race rather than go to Oklahoma, we're sending one team. Like Butch said, we're sending 10 out of, possibly could be sending 30, 40 kids.
Yeah.
Now we're sending 10.
We're sending 10. It's probably a cost deal there.
Yeah.
Stay
well,
home.
And last year we sent 34, I think, 34, 35 to Salt Lake City. And we usually send about the same amount when we went to Denver. And so we're going to really push big time for the ET finals in Vegas for the juniors, and that's coming up.
Now, when you say we send, does that mean Butchie puts some cars in trailers and goes too?
Usually you do.
Yeah, this will be the first ET or the Western Conference Finals that myself and the wife have missed since Josh started racing at 8 years old, and he just turned 24. So we've made a lot of passes, and I usually take 2 or 3 cars back in our trailer to fill out the team. So
that's 16, by the way. I just did the math. 16 years.
Yeah, 16.
You're not just a pretty face.
Somebody's good at math.
I was sitting there trying to figure it out. I can't do both. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
no, Butch is great. I mean, he fills up the motorhome, and if anybody needs getting back there. And then during his events, they do some raffle, 50-50 raffle giveaways, and that helps the kids get some gas money to get back there. So it helps out everybody and works out real good.
So, a good deal. So fans want to come out to an ANRA race. What are they going to see?
Well, like I say, you'll see some of the best racing as far as close racing as you will anywhere in the series. We don't have a lot of guys blow up on the line or pull a jack on us or anything like that, fortunately, But, some of the closest racing in any of the series that you'll ever see, and it's really real competitive, and, we'll put on a good show for them.
There's an article just came out in Hot Rod Magazine. It says the top 10 reasons why nostalgia racing is the best racing there is, and so it's in the latest issue of Hot Rod. Go out and grab one. And
it's what
pretty
some
cool.
of the top 10 reasons?
Accessible. I mean, just exciting side-by-side racing, old school racing like the front motor cars and all that. But that trickles down to even to ANRA. Everything is the big, the gassers and all, the big motors sticking out of the cars, and it's still, there's no blower bags and straps in the way of these cool cars, with the motors, and you can come and see it, and the pits are still accessible, the drivers are accessible.
Well, I was saying nostalgia, and actually, it's what's the limit on the cars? Is it 72, 74?
Actually, we've gone up to 84. I'm sorry.
84.
Hot Rod is a 30-year rule, basically.
Hot
so 30 years from now, from now till then.
And we say it's nostalgia, but let's say they're
far from nostalgia.
30-year-old cars. These are well maintained. They're all new equipment, all new safety stuff. So we're not running antiques out there.
Exactly right.
They just our old style.
They look antique if you go out to
some do. I mean, you get into open wheel and that. They look. They're throwback cars. I mean, they've got the old chassis and stuff, but they're running 13, 14, 15 seconds. Some guys are they're not running like the A gas cars run 7.6 like you said at a $180.
Right.
You got to have yourself a purpose-built safe car to do that.
Right. And the A gas I think is probably. Have you ever been out there, Steve?
I have.
You've seen the A gas class. It's probably my favorite class. Yeah. Just for the different styles and ideas and bodies. You've got your old school bodies. You've got actually some steel bodies, 55 Chevys, 56 Chevy. And then you've got your swoopy fiberglass fry type bodies of the Chevys. Pontiacs.
Yeah.
It's just
And that's what's cool about the index.
the
is
whole thing.
how do you want to get there?
Totally,
It's up to you.
Totally
Yeah.
cool class because there's not one car
Right.
that looks like another car. I don't think.
Exactly.
Now, Butch, is it a mixture of bracket style racing or is it heads up? I mean, what are we going to see at the ANRA events? Is it a mixture
we
of that?
have bracket, and then we have we have
Index.
our index cars, and we have our bracket cars.
And the juniors are all dial in. They
Right,
dial
yeah.
individual numbers.
And an index
it's a
means
mix.
they run on an index. If you say you're going to run 7.60 seconds,
Right.
you can't break out. You can't
Right.
run 7:59 unless your
Unless
opponent
your
runs
opponent-
7:58.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So so it would be if it's a double breakout, it's who was closer.
Gotcha.
Or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get that card just dialed in, so to run the number whether it's 860, 960, 1060.
Gotcha.
To get it dialed in, so it's consistently running that number.
But it's still first to the line. Don't
First
break
to
out
the line
in your index.
No electronics,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
stall, no.
Right.
That's
No
one of the things
electronics.
we're kind of cramping down on is that no electronics, and most of our
Right.
guys are watching that and they understand. And we did have one gentleman that had one box last time, and I just told him you can't run it, and he said okay, I understand. But he went and bought a box from one of our vendors and came back out and ran, and everything was legal, but that one box there. So we're working at that.
And
Yeah.
and that's part of what makes nostalgia racing nice and close is that you're standing on the gas from the time. I mean, you're standing on the gas if you have electronics. They're just making the car not leave the line. If
Right.
you look at a super comp dragster, just and
Yeah.
then it dials in a certain period of time and
Right.
takes off. And I think that's killed sportsman
Yeah.
racing, but that's
Yeah.
my own opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of like
And then, real quick, before we get out of this segment, we had a trailer, and there's been a lot of. If you look on Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
the thieves are rampant with stealing trailers, whether they're barbecue trailers, which has happened here, trailers with lawn equipment, whatever,
Yeah.
and they're bold. I mean, they'll go in your backyard.
Oh, yeah.
They're breaking into businesses, into their yards, the side of your house. You might think you've got this thing safe. You don't.
Yeah.
But Abigail Rogers, whose
Yep.
dad is
Mike Rogers.
Mike Rogers,
Yeah.
and owns Bakersfield Glass.
Right. And they're also our fuel suppliers, M&M Fuel. So it's
M&M
Mike
Fuel.
and Mike, dad, and then
Out there from Mosul.
father, so
Anyway, they have
grandfather.
a
Yep.
junior dragster for Abigail. I think she's 9. And the other day,
Yeah, they were actually loaded up. The next day, Saturday, was the junior division race at Irwindale, and they had the trailer in their driveway of the house, hooked up to a truck, ready to go, and they literally just took the trailer and cut all the tires of the truck so they couldn't chase after them, and hauled the trailer out to the orchard nearby and
they
just
hauled the
destroyed
trailer
it
out, and
emptied it.
so it went on Facebook that it was missing, and then there were sightings. So social media plays a huge role in
Yeah.
this, but a lot of sightings of this trailer. So, and then they found the trailer,
Right.
Yeah.
but
Which
there
was,
were
of
there were
course-
supposed sightings of the dragster on a flatbed or something.
well, they found a dragster yesterday.
But they found the dragster in a field out there in east
Panama.
off of
okay.
Panama and
Yeah.
Vineland,
Yeah.
I think.
Sans some parts. There
Sans
was
some
some
parts, the
different
front
parts
nose,
were missing,
carburetor,
yeah.
some electronics, but basically most of the cars, so it's very fixable. So good news there.
Yeah.
And I think you got to credit social media for getting it out there and
Absolutely.
getting the word out.
Well,
People
the first post that she posted, Lindy posted, I went back and checked it, and there was 5,500 and some actual shares of that post, which just really goes to show you what can be done on the social media.
So, okay, we're going to head to a break here. I want to
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming in. I want to thank Steve Hughes
Yeah.
for showing up. I want to thank Lewis for being gone because it's always fun when Lewis is gone. We like it. And we'll be back in a little bit with the Kern County Raceway Park segment.
Kern County Raceway hosts a very special night Saturday, June 18th. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at the Races. Great racing and a fundraiser for the local group that helps local veterans. NASCAR late models, NASCAR Superstocks, Inex Bandoleros, the 911 Racing Series, and the future stars of racing, the Mini Dwarfs. Raffle prizes, giveaways, NASCAR racing, and an opportunity to raise money for local veterans. Wounded Heroes Fun Night at KCRP. Brought to you by Budweiser, Jimberg Ford, and Coca-Cola.
Steve Hughes is over there having a good time in the chair where I'm usually sitting, and I'm where Louis Amistoy sometimes sits.
Sorry.
Mike Griffith with the Bakersfield, California. This is the Power Hour. We've got the Kern County Raceway Park segment coming up. Got Steve Amistoy.
Hey, I'll take that.
Steve
I'm
Amistoy.
good, I'm good with Steve Amistoy. I'm good with that.
Steve Hughes over there. We got Johnny Bedingfield come in.
I'm here.
Hello, Johnny. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Wednesday. I get through this.
Yeah,
Steve,
you can do it,
You
Mike.
get to put up with
You
this
can
guy?
do it.
Steve,
Yes.
he's just over there laughing at
Yeah,
us.
I really like this seat. I think I may sit here from here on out. Anytime that we have the Power Hour, I think this is where I'm sitting.
Johnny's going to be talking about what's coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
at
big
KSR
event.
Pro.
We're as you know, we're off this Saturday night, but coming up the next weekend, June 17th and 18th, we do have a couple of great events going on. Huge event on 18th. But let's talk about last Saturday night, man. Did we have some great racing or what?
Yeah, the heat was on.
The heat is
Oh,
on.
it was on at the racetrack. It was a good night to be off.
I put a temperature and all.
Oh, you were out there.
I'm never off. If you get involved with Shane Thompson and Shane Thompson Motorsports, you're never off. So we had 4 spec mods, 2 mini stocks to take care of out there, and then I was spotting for Tate Sanders. So
Were you?
yeah,
Very cool.
So we had,
Well, we had started the highlights there. And
yeah,
I'm-
we can keep running those highlights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, go ahead and run that. That was we had the late models probably had the race of the night.
They certainly did. And
Out there.
I'll tell you, Mike Ryle in the number 5 machine, there was a little bit of a kind of a ragtag start there. I think Cole Adamo kind of missed a shift or did something, and Ryle led the first couple laps, but racing Vernon in that 51 and the 22S of Buddy Shepard going for his 4th consecutive win to start the season. They put on a great show, Mike, for about 20 laps.
Oh, they put on a great show. I mean, it was just like this. Vernon had the high side. Shepard was down low, and these cars, you kind of want the high side for the momentum. But Vernon, I can't tell you how many times he got loose coming out of 3 and 4. You can see it there. Look at this. This car is every way but sideways, every way but straight.
Yeah.
But he still couldn't get past. He'd get there, and this is how it went for 20 laps. I think they got out there about lap 5 and
Right.
went through lap 29 when it finally came to a conclusion. Buddy got the lead. We'll see later on. But this would have taken forever to show this, but this was every lap.
Yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with racing Vernon. As loose as that race car was, I mean, loose in, loose off, able to keep Buddy Shepard at bay for that many laps. I know his spotter was in his ear saying, "Don't you let him pass you! Don't you let him pass you!"
I was up there, and
I mean, he was hanging on tight.
He was good. That was a whale of a race, and racing's been pretty good about it on social media since then. You know, with things like, well, killed it, and we'll see later on coming up here.
Well,
in a little
they
bit.
said definitely a rear clip, move the front motor mounts forward about a half an inch. You know, making contact like that. Of course, the rear end and is connected to the drive line, which is connected to the engine, which is connected to the motor mounts. Moved everything about a half inch forward. So it's a victory circle right now, getting her fixed.
Yeah.
it is, and the rear end's going to be headed down to Speedway Engineering when that's done. So
And then look at this here. Now that's all that side by side racing allows Cole Adamo, who's running 3rd, to get right up in the mix and make it a 3-car battle.
Oh yeah, you look there, and those guys are racing. I was thinking at this stage that these 2 guys are gonna be racing.
Whoa, he was sideways.
And that's where Buddy finally got the lead right there, and Cole Adams going, well, I'm going to get in here too.
I better sneak to the
and
inside
then Racing's
there.
Day came to
Oh,
an end
boy.
right here.
Just trying to catch him coming off the corner there.
And
That's
it really didn't, if you look at that, you think, it's not that bad.
Well, I'll tell
It
you
was
right
that
now,
bad.
those walls are very, very hard and will destroy your car when you hit them. As
they
we
do,
did
they
last
don't
race.
move. They don't move.
They don't move.
Yeah.
They're not safer barriers. So it's kind of it's too bad that happened because that was a great race, one of the best races in a long time out there.
His car was pretty loose. I was up there watching from the spotting tower and going into 3. A lot of times he was sideways going into the turn. So
Right.
he had to muscle it around. And
Yeah.
I thought we were at the dirt track for a minute.
Right.
It did look like dirt tracking out there. So we got some results we can run through. I think, Chris, we have the slides. There we go. We run through these results real good. Buddy Shepard, Cole Adamo, Lance Wilson with a 3rd, Mike Ryle, good run for him. And
Good run for Hugh Stubblefield as well in the top 5. We had 11 cars that night, so
Yeah.
our largest late model field of the
which
year.
also made for some traffic came into play, which was fun.
It certainly did. Certainly did.
So good deal. There has some other racing going on. Jim Coffey with a big win there over his brother Ed. Eric Brust, Mike Mason, his first race in a long time.
Yep, great debut for Mikey Mason. Kevin Callahan, the points leader, finishes up in the top 5 in 5th.
Can be that. And a guy who's getting some wins out there in the Legends.
That was a
Tyler
good race
Bannister.
here. Good race here. Bannister gave Luis Tyrell the old chrome horn on the front, got him loose coming off a 4 and made the pass.
Oop,
it was
and I
nice.
put a B in there, but it's probably my typo. Colton Page
Yeah.
Beach. Page. Josh
I think
Ayers.
you're trying to spell cabbage, but yeah, Colton Page was third.
That's it. You probably do good in word games. And then mini stocks, Brady Mello on top of that one.
Yeah, that's a good. At the
Another winner.
real happy with the mini stock division, and thanks to Brady and Damian and Austin and Destiny and Matt and and Brock Mello really making it a good field of racers. 3 races, 3 different winners in our mini stock division. 3 races, 3 different winners in our spec mods.
Yeah, Brady Mello, he's my brother-in-law, and we got Brock going, my nephew, and just he contributes to West Air Gas is a big sponsor of everything we'll talk about here in a minute, but they sponsor the 4 ST Motorsports cars that we all work on, and then my Superstock and Ricky Birds, and then my dad is actually going to make his debut on the asphalt track the next race too. So he just supports our racing development and helps out a lot. So
Well, that's a
pretty
good
cool deal.
deal. And Johnny, he can get around in this car pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We're going to practice Saturday morning. It's rear clip replaced and everything's new again in the back. Had to take it down to race car factory and get it fixed. But
Now, what happened last race?
well, we started the night off good with the new track record, and then rolled a 5. So we started on the inside third row. And I think patience is what I need, and sometimes I'm good with it, and sometimes I forget about it. And we got up to third, I think, in a lap, and was coming hard off of 2, and got a little loose. So the car stepped out on me a little bit, so I chased it down a little bit, and then there was another car making a good run on the inside. So I come across his nose, and then all hell broke loose then.
Yeah, backed it into the fence. Pretty heavy
Hard.
damage. So you're going to see a new look in a number 22 car. All new graphics, mostly new body, as you said,
Yeah.
all new rear end. So yeah, we'll see a new look for the
new look.
defending champ in the super stocks.
Yeah, the blue and green's gone, and our sponsors this year are different, so it's more of their colors. So the Wounded Heroes Fund wrap on the hood's going to be cool with all the companies that bought several tickets to send the veterans.
And that's what's coming up. So, Steve, talk about this.
Let's talk about that. So last year, Johnny had this great idea. We had heard about a young man, 7 years old, was struggling with heart disease and was waiting for open heart surgery, basically a heart transplant. His name was Braden. And Johnny had heard about it on social media, had kind of contacted me about it, that his dream was to be a race car driver. And so we kind of started this deal just to bring Braden out to the racetrack and get him involved in racing and make it a special day for him. Well, it snowballed into something huge, and it was turned into Braden's Braveheart Night at the races. We raised $17,000 for the family, the Eidenshanks, the local family here. Dad is a Kern County Sheriff's deputy, and Mom is a stay-at-home mom. And it was just a great event. And Johnny wanted to do something bigger and better, partnered up with JB Motorsports. That's Johnny's motorsports team. And then STZ Motorsports, which is Shane Thompson and his group. And they got together with the Wounded Heroes Fund to kind of do the same thing, but to help out local veterans in Kern County.
Yeah, so our goal with the ticket sales part of it is that's what I'm kind of handling. I've been handling other things too, is raffle prizes. But it started off real slow, so it was kind of rough. The economy, and I'm in the oil business, so I know all about it. But it's really picking up steam right now. A lot of local companies have really stepped up. Just to rattle some off, West Air, H&S, Buddy Shepherd, they came and handed me a check for 50 tickets, and that's just awesome. Train Pro, Arc Technology. I just got a phone call while I'm sitting there on Arc Technology, and Bill Wright Toyota, both Toyotas, we're jumping in and buying tickets. And Scientific Drilling is who I work for, and they're always involved in anything I got going on. So I know I'm probably forgetting some, but it'll all be out soon.
Now, how much of the tickets go toward the Wounded Heroes Fund?
So they're $10 tickets, and the racetrack gets half of that, and the other half is to the Wounded Heroes Fund.
So in order to do that, you need to contact Johnny Bedingfield. You can go to his Facebook page. You can go to our Facebook page. Everything will be moved up with the flyer there to contact Johnny to get those race vouchers. In every race voucher they sell, Wounded Heroes Fund gets $5 back from each ticket sold. So basically, it's a revenue split with the racetrack.
Right.
But there's also going to be other ways to raise funds for Wounded Heroes Fund as well. As Johnny said, there's going to be a 50-50 raffle. There's going to be other raffle prizes. Still working on the silent auction stuff. But it's growing bigger and bigger as each hour passes.
At first, I thought we're not going to have enough stuff, but now it's just it's picking up steam. I'm so excited about it, and I love to tell Steve, we are up to 25, we're up to 30, we're up to 35 raffle stuff, and I think he starts pulling his hair out a little bit.
No, it's
calling
great.
the numbers,
What type of raffle stuff do you? There are a couple of the items that you might have already.
Lowe's is, I think, one of the barbecue deal might be coming. There's Susan Williams, like last year, handles all the raffle stuff.
Is there a lot of different stuff? I mean, it's not like all race related. It's
there'll be
a variety of raffle stuff.
Yeah, Power Tools. There's a cabin for the weekend up at Shaver Lake. There's some winery cabin stuff that she's working on. There's a lot of big stuff. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Right. So just a wide variety. It's not like you go there and raffle off a hood or a helmet.
I don't really think
no.
There's nothing that's really involved with racing.
It's all a variety of raffle items.
And Mike, I'll tell you, on next Wednesday's show, I plan on having Susan and a representative from the Wounded Heroes Fund.
Next Wednesday's show.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Got to do it.
That's the one before.
I'm gonna
that's
host
the one
it.
before the race.
I'm gonna host it.
Okay, we have
host
to
it.
try to get everybody in here.
All right, me and Chris, we'll host
You and
it.
Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
that
It'll
is
be
a
me and
big-
Chris all the way, right, Chris?
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I know he just put you on the spot right there, but it's
Well, Lewis is gone. I'm gone. So
Yep.
you're like, go ahead, boys. Take
You're
it
gonna
over.
give me the keys to the castle, man. It's gonna be fine.
bring in Jason Galvin. Have a good
Oh,
old
that's
time.
a good idea. Absolutely.
We were just on 17 News with Jason Galvin.
And
And
the best thing you got to, with Jason, the thing is, and he won't be upset about this, but if he's on the track, you got somebody you can pass.
Oh man.
and
Jason had a rough night last.
Jason's funny.
He led
I really
three.
like that
He
guy.
led
He's a
three
good guy.
laps.
He started up front.
Well, yeah. Coffee
He hit
started in the
third-
second
he
position.
He hit the wall going into 3, and I looked at the spotter, Paul, and I was like, how did that happen? And I think he got a little help there, and that kind of knocked him out.
Yeah,
And
and
he had,
after
he
that
had a
is-
loose wheel in the left rear, so
That's not going to help.
No.
No, that loose wheel. That's not going to feel
And
good.
I don't know which one Shane's going to be yelling at us, but I don't know. Who
But
let
here's a
that
great
wheel loose.
here's a great opportunity for local businesses and race fans to really help out a great local organization. And basically, what the Wounded Heroes Fund does is help post 9/11 veterans that are coming home. That not only some of their wounds are physical. A lot of them are the ones you can't see, like the PTSD. Some of them have associative disorders, getting back into regular life. Coming back home. I know a lot of their focus lately has been on couples therapy. When the soldier comes back home and getting back into married life and getting back into that, they've been having date nights and getaways and things like that to really help the families of these local veterans coming home. It's a great organization. They've got a big fundraiser coming up this Saturday at Cafe Med. That Kern County Raceway is going to donate a suite to for the 18th, so a little bit more money coming in to Wounded Heroes Fund that way as well. So stay tuned. I encourage you to get on to Johnny Bettingfield's or JB Motorsports Facebook page and find out where you can purchase tickets that half of the proceeds go right to Wounded Heroes Fund. Come on out, buy some raffle tickets, have a great time at the racetrack, and raise some money for the Wounded Heroes Fund. It's going to be awesome. And that is June 18th. Gates will open at 5. Racing will start at 7.
Okay, that sounds good. How do I get to your Facebook, Johnny?
It's Johnny Bettingfield on Facebook, or JB Motorsports is the motorsports page. And I want to just thank Steve Hughes for 3 late model rides with the veterans. We went from 1 to 2 to 3.
We'll do 2-seater ride-alongs on Saturday night before opening ceremonies with some local veterans, and then also another local veteran will be in the Jim Burke Ford Mustang convertible pace car that night as well. So.
Okay, that sounds good.
it's
Just
growing.
don't let Buddy Shepard take him for a ride.
Oh,
because
he's gonna be
the
behind
thrill
the wheel.
ride.
He'll
And
be
then
Buddy
he'll do that
Shepard.
little spin out in turn 1. Really give you a thrill ride. But we got to get out of here.
Okay.
Take a break. Look for Steve Hughes next week. Don't look for me. I'll be like Louis Amestoy.
Gone.
Gone.
He gone.
He gone.
He gone.
All right.